People used to be called prostitutes. The term sex care provider, isn't that more dignified?
Let's go.
Pet is kind of a demeaning term. We really should call them companion animals. You're not supposed to say girl anymore. Free woman is okay, though. It sounds like I'm kidding, I know, but I'm deadly serious. I shouldn't say dead either. It's terminally inconvenienced or metabolically different.
Writer Chris Cerf always knows just the correct thing to say.
So if I were going to fire you, I could decruit you. The government has used that.
He has studied the language of the politically correct.
Of course, fellows is a totally unacceptable word.
All the words that are fit to print and fit to think.
And I shouldn't call it a book. It's a processed tree carcass.
He's put them all together in the first politically correct dictionary.
Why do we need a politically correct dictionary?
Well, if you say the wrong thing, people could call you a racist or a sexist or an ableist or a lookist or a sizist or a speciesist or...
Speciesist? Do you know what that means?
Someone who thinks that his or her species is better than all other species.
So if I think I'm better than a snail, I'm no good.
That's absolutely right. Animal lookism, that's the tendency to protect kittens and other cute things, but to be mean to snails or snakes and that sort of stuff.
Let me go down a list of some of these other words that you have in your dictionary. You suggest a hamburger is really...
It's definitely a processed animal carcass, because if you say meat, you're using a euphemism that disguises what you're really eating. The term waitron...
Is that a robot who brings you
sounds
coffee?
like that.
French fries, American cheese, melted.
It's a person who brings you coffee.
French turkey burger deluxe.
Neither male nor female, which is what a gender-free language would be. I think it has a lovely ring to it.
R2-D2 to bring you your pancakes in the morning.
Well, you would, but there's a movement not only for cruelty-free language and bias-free language or gender-free language, but also content-free language. If we could really accomplish content-free language, there's no way that you could say anything offensive to anybody.
But the words wouldn't mean anything.
Well, basically, it's necessary to destroy the language in order to save it.
In Chris Cerf's politically correct world, there is crime.
It's society that's done it to them.
But there are no criminals.
The people in Los Angeles that took things from those stores last year are not looters. They're non-traditional shoppers.
Come on.
Seriously.
Non-traditional
Yes.
shoppers? You make a lot of fun of the politically correct.
We call what we do investigative satire.
I mean, did you write this book just for laughs?
Well, obviously, we think that some of this is pretty funny. We wouldn't have done it. I think there's some things that are dangerous about some of this. One is the idea that if I just call it the right thing, the problem will go away. I think the Gulf War is a good example of, you talked about smart bombs. We got the idea that nobody was really getting hurt, that strikes are surgical, and I think all of this language added up has a numbing effect. This is such a tricky thing, is that not everybody agrees on what's politically correct.
There are no rules, and that can make life difficult for humans and other living things.
What would you call, for instance, a pig?
Go for it.
Do you call her a pig?
I have called her a pig. I have called her a swine. I've called her very annoying.
Kissy, kissy.
How do you feel about being called an amphibian American?
Well, at
It
first
sounds more politically correct.
Yeah. At first it sounded like a good idea, but I realized it's kind of a little silly. As for the amphibian American thing, I'm just a frog.